So Kevin Stefanski was asked yesterday about stopping an elite quarterback late in the game for the Browns and what it's going to take to do that for the Browns to get that done.
You got to find a way to get a stop. We let him out of the pocket too many times. We got to do a better job and contain. And that's certainly going to be something for this week as well coming up, because it's hard to cover, for that long when you let the quarterback out of the pocket. And then they made a few plays. We made a few of them too, but we got to find a way on fourth down in particular to get off the field.
And Coach Stefanski alluded to it. It doesn't get any easier. Justin Herbert, a different problem than Kyler Murray, but Kyler Murray coming up this week, a big problem as well.
Absolutely, 100%. And when you continue to look down the road at the schedule, I mean, I'm sure you watched some of the Ravens game last night. They have to deal with Lamar Jackson twice. As you mentioned, they've got Kyler Murray, they've got Aaron Rodgers, they've got Derek Carr. They have some really good quarterbacks that they're playing. Joe Burrow twice. They've got a lot of good quarterbacks this year on the slate. And for the most part, last season, they did not have as many really, really tough quarterbacks to play. When they did have one in a guy like a Deshaun Watson, he was basically grounded because of the weather in that game. There were plenty of other outings in which they had Mike Glennon, Mason Rudolph, Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold when he was struggling with the Jets, although they won that game. But, they did not play the best of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. So it's tougher this year. You've got Patrick, you've got Aaron, you've got Kyler, Justin Herbert, and they are going to definitely have to be on point to play these games. And then on the other side of the ball, Baker's definitely going to have to be able to go head to head with some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL and come out victorious.
So I know you were asked this in another podcast, but what do the Browns have to do to close out a game against a really good football team? What's the recipe to get a win against one of these guys? They've been in it both times they've lost this year.
Well, the recipe is going to be different in each and every single game and circumstance. So I don't think there's just one magic bullet that's going to get the job done. As I mentioned before, I think one of the biggest things for the Browns will be to be healthy the next time they go up against Justin Herbert. And I mean, they very well could see them again. And I definitely think it'll be a completely different ball game. The other thing about it is there are a lot of young guys on defense that are still learning the pro game. And I'm talking about Grant Delpit, Greg Newsome, Malik McDowell, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. These are guys that are just playing in their first NFL games. And by December, they're going to be a lot better than they are now. So not only will you have some of the guys back from injury, barring any unforeseen circumstance, then you should also have a lot of young guys that are starting to play way better ball as they go down the stretch.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think fans tend to forget, those guys are in their first year because they have played reasonably well in spurts.